When I was in my 20s, I never felt like, oh man, I'm so tired. But as I entered my 30s, I became very careful about where my energy was going because I realized that energy is very precious. You really have to preserve it and make sure you're using it in the right spaces at the right time. If you have goals, if you have targets, if you want to work on yourself, you have to be very mindful of where your energy is going. There are 5 things I identified in my life and in my journey of self-improvement and self-growth that were really draining me out. The first thing I realized was that I was always overstimulated with food, with lots of music, or with lots of content like movies, etc. Because as soon as I woke up in the morning, there was always some song playing in my head. Whatever reel I had watched the day before or right before going to bed, that same content would be running through my mind. When I used to go to the gym, I would play music in the car, listen to songs at the gym, and then listen to songs on my way back from the gym. During the day, when I was scrolling, there would be songs playing, or there would be so much content and so much information coming at me. And I realized that I was stuck in a dopamine storm because no one really needs that much dopamine or that much excitement. And once I understood that all this dopamine and overstimulation was not really helping me, in fact, it was stealing all the joy I used to feel for the little thing earlier, I took a step back from it. I've literally become very conscious and aware of how much music I'm listening to. I'm okay with not listening to any music. I'm okay with just driving and listening to traffic sounds or birds chirping. I've become very conscious of how much food I'm ordering from outside. I've become very conscious of how much I'm eating from outside. I'm very mindful of the content I watch. I don't consume a lot of content. I step back and only consume content that I really need to know or information that I really wish to learn. I don't overload myself with a lot of content because somewhere I know for a fact that it drains you. One of the major reasons I personally felt tired and exhausted was when I had a lot of screen time right before sleeping. So, I eliminated screen time an hour before sleeping and introduced books and reading into my routine. That not only made me patient with reading, because my reading habit had obviously gone away with all the scrolling and social media, but now, over the past 2 to 3 years, I've slowly incorporated reading every night. And that gives me the best sleep ever. You fall into such a nice sleep, and you wake up well rested on time without an alarm. So, if you feel tired and exhausted, maybe working on your screen time before you sleep, or introducing reading time before you sleep will really help. Having coffee at odd hours earlier, I used to mindlessly drink coffee. I was always at Starbucks, always holding a coffee mug in my hand, and I used to proudly call it my moral support coffee. Even at midnight, I would have my last coffee. And I was stuck in a loop where I would feel tired, drink coffee to get rid of the tiredness, and then not get proper sleep. I wouldn't get enough sleep, and then I'd feel tired again, and then I'd drink more coffee. When I started noticing a pattern in all this, I realized that coffee was really a big problem in my life. It had become a habit and a lifestyle that was getting out of control. Randomly, at any time, I would get up and drink coffee. I realized how coffee was affecting my life. I eliminated coffee and started having my last coffee by 2 p.m. So, if you feel like you're constantly tired and you keep drinking coffee to get rid of it, you'll always be stuck in a loop where you're tired, drinking coffee, and not getting enough sleep. So, you'll always feel tired and keep drinking coffee. You have to literally decide to stop having coffee after 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. and let your body start feeling drowsy and tired around 10:30 or 11 p.m. because that's your natural body clock. Once you realize that your body wants to sleep by 10:30 or 11 p.m., you'll notice how well rested and not tired you feel during the day. Your decision-making improves, you're less irritable, and you have a lot more energy to do so many things during the day. You become very productive. So, these are the changes I've observed over time ever since I've cut down on coffee. I've become more aware and conscious about how much caffeine I'm putting into my body. Another pattern I noticed in myself was that I wasn't eating on time. For me, work was everything. I used to sit and edit all day, every day. I'd eat in between or not eat at all or eat in the evening, or just have one meal in the evening, or eat something in the morning. My meals were not proper, they were all over the place, and because I was drinking so much coffee, I wouldn't feel hungry. Coffee is basically an appetite suppressant. The more coffee you drink, the less hungry you feel. And the less you eat, obviously your body doesn't have enough energy. So you're literally pushing your body to be more and more tired. When I fixed my caffeine intake, I realized I started to get hungry, which is when I started eating on time. I started calculating my meals and dividing my portions into big meals and small meals. As I fixed my meal pattern, along with my caffeine intake, I started to feel a lot better in my body. I realized that sleep is literally controlling and dictating how I feel throughout the day. Sleep is literally controlling every aspect of my life, because if I don't get enough sleep, I can't make proper decisions. I can't wake up on time. I always wake up feeling foggy and groggy. I have trouble getting out of bed. Ever since I fixed my sleep, a big chunk of my life and my day has been fixed. I've been very determined that I need to prioritize my sleep. Once I understood how important sleep is, and once I started seeing its benefits in my life and lifestyle, I became very protective of my sleep schedule. Once you realize how productive and good you feel in your body after 7 to 8 hours of sleep, or even 6 hours of sleep, you'll understand that you can't feel the same way on just 1 or 2 hours of sleep, no matter how much you push your body to function on it. But your body won't function as efficiently or as well as it does when it gets enough rest and sleep. And this is what I've personally observed, which is why I've had to change a lot of things about my lifestyle. I stopped going out after 10 or 11 p.m. Even if I go out, I make sure I'm back home by midnight. So, if you're constantly tired, if you take pride in drinking coffee all the time, if you take pride in listening to a lot of music all the time, if you take pride in working on just 2 hours of sleep, it's time to start fixing these habits. And before I go, I just want to say that we've gone too far away from the basics in the name of being cool. And now it's taking us a lot more effort to come back to doing the basic things. But trust me, basics are rewarding in the long term, and being cool will not really take you further. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know in the comments which point is your major problem area, and I'll try to help you out.